Okay, y'all, we are going to stuff a couple pork tenderloins today with some garlic and a little bit of white pepper, and it's going to be delicious. Now, this is one time I do use the microwave. I put 2 blocks. Now, you can do 1 pork tenderloin. When you get the package, there'll be 2. And be sure it says pork tenderloin, because if you buy pork loin, there's only 1 in there. But, I mean, you can do this with the pork loin too. But I put 2 blocks in the microwave. If I were doing just 1, I would have used 1 block. So I've got that softened. Now what I've got is, this is where you can do your own thing. You can use garlic powder. You can use the jarred garlic. What I have is 4 cloves of roasted garlic that we have roasted together. And I keep this stored in my icebox in olive oil. And I'm just going to smash this really good. I like to use about 2 cloves per stick of cream cheese. And to me, that's perfect. But if you love garlic, a whole bunch, you can add more. Because you know, everybody has to know your crowd. That's what we always say. Okay, there we go. All smooshed up. You could use fresh garlic. Absolutely, you could. And that's also very, very good. And here's a little tip. If you're using fresh garlic anytime, if you will take your garlic cloves and take them off of the little, get them away from their brothers and sisters, and put it in a bowl of water and soak it for 10-15 minutes, or there's no limit. I guess you could leave it 30. But if you get that, let it soak, that hull will just come right off of it, y'all. It is the easiest thing. And you know how with garlic, how you get the gumminess on your fingers? You won't have that. Now this is some white pepper. This is one of my favorite things. It has a milder flavor than black pepper. And I'm just going to add about 1/4 of a teaspoon to this. Now the very first time I ever had this, our neighbors and friends, Keith and Sandy, had a big cookout. I was going to add a sprinkling of some black pepper. And I'm going to salt inside the cavity there. They were having a cookout, and Keith had put a bunch of these on the charcoal grill, and it was like the best thing I ever ate. And so ever since then, it is a family favorite. And back in the day, we could find hot shot, not the kind that kills ants and uncles, but it was a spice. I have not been able to find that locally in forever. And so every time I make this, I usually use something else. Sometimes I'll put a little cayenne. Sometimes I'll put a little, paprika. Sometimes I don't do anything. Sometimes I just do garlic. But you do want to flavor your cream cheese. Now, if you have some smoked cream cheese, and we've done that together, it is so fine. You could do that with this. Okay, now I've already made a boat out of one of these pork tenderloins, and I'm going to show you how I did that. We'll move this right out of our way. So when you get your pork tenderloin, it's going to have some of the fat and the silver skin that's going to still be on it. And I like to cut that off. And also there's little pieces here and there. And I just get those right off. And you take your very sharp knife and you stick it under. And you can hold it at kind of a 45-degree angle. And let me show you the silver skin on the front. See all of this. This is a no bueno. Nobody wants to get a bite of all of that. So, if you put a wet paper towel underneath your cutting board, it also will not slide. I did not expect to do that today. But I just take my knife and just stick it right underneath that silver skin. And you want to get you a handle. And then just hold your knife at kind of an angle, angling up. And it'll just come right off. And I also do this to anything that's got silver skin. If it's deer or whatever, because I don't want any of that. It just does not make for a dining experience. Okay, and I'm going to cut off a lot of this visible fat, because you don't want a mouthful of that either. I'll put the camera on speed up, and so this will go a lot quicker for y'all. Okay, there we go. Got most all of it off, and it's going to be better for it. Okay, so what you do, you take the sharp point of your knife. We're going to make a canoe, but we're not going to let there be a hole in the canoe, because then we would sink and your good stuff would run out. So I'm just going to take the sharp end of my knife and just start about 1 inch from the end. Just make a small cut all the way down to almost the end. And we'll go back and make it a little bit deeper. And a little bit deeper. And you can kind of put your hand underneath it and you can feel to see how deep. Right there, it feels about like it's thin enough. But right here, it's too thick. So we're just going to adjust that. Okay. I think we are done. Okay, so now I have my baking sheet. And we're just going to put it on here. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Let me get this open. Whoops, not that end, that's the big end. We don't need that much salt. I'm going to salt the inside of this. Just a little bit. And of course, we got pepper in our cream cheese. So, we're just going to take half of this and put it in one, and half of this and put it in the other. And we're just going to smear it down just like this. Now you can put this on your charcoal grill, which is one of my very favorite ways to do it, because it just gives it that wonderful grill flavor. But today, y'all, it's the face of the sun hot out there, so I'm going to put this in the oven. You can put this in your smoker, and it's very good like that. Now, a lot of times if I'm going to put it in my smoker, because the one in my garage, my Masterbuilt upright, which I love, but it really doesn't get hotter than 275, so it takes longer to cook it than the one in the oven. You know, it's going to be about 350. And so a lot of times if I'm going to cook it in the smoker, and I know it's going to take longer, I'll add just a tablespoon or so of mayonnaise to this, and it'll keep it from drying out on you, because it'll take longer there. So we're just going to pile this up in here, and I have my house oven set to 350, and I'm going to put it in there and let it just bake until it's done. And that looks about like all that I can pile on there. Oh, we had a little bit of waste, but sometimes it just is what it is. Okay, now I'm going to put this in the oven at 350, like I said, and I'm going to check it with my handy dandy meat thermometer in about 20 minutes. And pork is safe at 140 to 145. And you don't want to dry it out, y'all. It does not have to be the texture and as dry as the bottom of your shoe. But I'm going to put this in the oven. I'll check it in about 20 minutes. And we'll get back together whenever it is ready to eat. So, we'll clean up the mess. I'll see y'all back. This was in the oven for 20 minutes. I took its temperature. It was 125. So, I set my timer for another 10 minutes and took its temperature. And it was about 142 and 145 in different places. So, I took it out, put it on my board, and let it rest. And one here that I have not sliced yet, but this one we're going to slice together. I'm going to slice it right in the middle. And this is so good, y'all. I wish you were here. You could smell my house. And look at that. Perfectly done. Absolutely. All right, let's just cut a piece here for me. You know, this, don't be scared by, you know, it being pork tenderloin. This package was less than $9, and so you've got about 4 something in one piece, 4 something in another in your meat, and you've got a little dish that is so tasty, and it does feed a lot of people. But that is going to be delicious. So let's just get us a little bite. That little cream cheese kind of ran away with the spoon there. And let's just get us a little bite right here. We tend to overload our apple cart when we're getting bites for videos. I'm trying to learn to do better here. So Y'all. I cannot tell you how delicious this is. And if you cook it on the grill, what I do when I cook it on the grill, excuse me, I'll take a little aluminum pan, and if I don't have an aluminum pan, I'll make one with some heavy duty foil, and then I'll put my pork tenderloin, and if I'm doing two, I'll do two boats, so to speak, and I'll put my little pork tenderloin in there stuffed, and then I'll add some water to the bottom of it, and that'll keep the bottom of this from getting too done and hard when you're cooking it on the charcoal grill. It's delicious, warmed up. You can zap it in the microwave for just a second or two, or you can put it in the oven and warm up. But this is a wonderful dish. Now, I do hope you try it. You can get it all assembled the night before church. Do it on Saturday night, and then Sunday morning, pop it in the oven, cook it, tint it, and then whenever you bring it out, put it, tint it with tinfoil. You get home from church, you've got a meal. It looks fancy, but without the fancy price. So, all right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. And y'all go do something fun. Make yourself something yummy to eat. Bye.